After 5 years with our Toro Time Cutter, we've added a second one to the fleet. This is the Toro Time Cutter Max MyRide. If you're looking for this at a Lowe's or a Tractor Supply or a Home Depot, this is model 77503, the setup that I currently have. 54-inch forged deck. That's the fabricated deck, not the stamped steel deck. Does have the MyRide suspension system, has the Kawasaki 23 horsepower engine on it. So let's take a walk around this machine and talk to you a little bit more about the features that I really like. In a future video, we'll do a side-by-side comparison of the new Toro Time Cutter with the 54-inch deck and the MyRide system compared to our previous Toro Time Cutter, which we still love, with the 60-inch fabricated deck and without the MyRide system. So once again, this is the Toro Time Cutter Max with the MyRide system, model 77503. And obviously, one of the things I'm most excited about with this machine is this MyRide suspension system. It's totally adjustable. There's a lever back here behind me that lets me increase or decrease the suspension to give me a softer or a more firm ride. Now, right now I've got it dead set right in the middle. We're gonna mow the lawn a couple times. I'll see how that feels, and then I'll make adjustments up and down as necessary until I find the perfect ride for me. But the MyRide suspension gives you suspension in both the front and the back of the seat. So regardless of the terrain that the chassis of the zero-turn mower is going over, the seat is suspending me from that vibration and that motion, keeping me stable in my seated position. And I think that is going to be the thing that I will notice the most when comparing this machine with our previous Toro Time Cutter. The second thing I want to point out about this Toro Time Cutter is the 54-inch iron forged cutting system. This is a fabricated deck. Solid steel, not stamped steel. You can see welded, not stamped at all the connection points. This is a very heavy duty deck, and for me, a forged fabricated deck is the only type of deck I would consider for the projects and the places that we have to mow. The next thing I'm really excited about on this machine are these Voodoo tires. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I've previously had the other Time Cutter stuck many times, and a lot of times I've blamed it on those tires. You can see these tires have a little bit deeper spacing, better traction for gripping in a little bit superior areas, let's say. But again, I won't know until I try it. But you can see even these edges stick out. Should give me a better bite on some wet areas, and we do have some wet areas here. So I'm really excited to try out these Voodoo tires on the new Toro Time Cutter. You can see the seat suspension comes all the way to the back here to this attachment point, so it allows the entire seat to float on top of the zero turn. Here's where that adjustment I mentioned previous is. So more stiff suspension is at the plus, less stiff is at the minus. You can move this up or down to give you the suspension you desire. Like I said, we're going to leave it right in the middle for now on the third spot up. This Toro Time Cutter has really good protection back here to protect the engine. When you are making tight turns, there is what you call tail swing. So you swivel around really fast. Sometimes you don't realize how far the tail end is going to swing around, and especially when we're at the cemetery, I've had a couple close calls where when navigating between gravestones, my back end has come pretty close to some trees or shrubs or even other gravestones. So this is nice to protect the engine on a machine like this that turns so sharp. The other thing you'll notice in front of that nice guard, Kawasaki FR691V. This is a 23 horsepower Kawasaki brand engine. This is the first Kawasaki engine I've had on a zero-turn mower. So I'm anxious to see how it runs compared to the Toro commercial engine that's on our other time cutter. Underneath this suspension seat is a 5-gallon, you heard me right, 5-gallon gas tank. This is something I'm really going to appreciate. You have your fuel fill right here, but that 5-gallon tank means you can mow longer without having to refill. There have been times when I've been mowing, for example, the 5-acre field at my parents' house, and after having mowed the yard and then moving to the 5-acre field, I've had to refill in the middle of mowing. Means that probably I could mow all of that without having to refill. That will be a test that we do to see how long we can mow on 5 gallons of gas running at full throttle. Our controls are right here, very easy to use. You've got your throttle, fast and slow, pull to choke, run position and start position, and your PTO switch. So to start this machine, we're going to put it at about medium throttle, use the choke. It's already warmed up, so it probably didn't even need the choke. One of the things we love about the other time cutter, and it carries through to this one, is the really nice foot deck lift. So you're using your foot and not your hand on a lever to lift the deck. And then this awesome pull pin system. Really easy to just select the height you want to be at, lower the deck. We're at 3.5 inches right there. Use your foot to lift the deck, so all that strain is on your leg and not your arm. The foot pedal makes it really easy to do. And then the pin makes setting your height as easy as it could be. I can't think of an easier way to do it. I did mention those Voodoo tires on the back. On the front, one of the things I'm excited about, yes, you still get nice wide tires on the front of this machine, but you've also got a grease zerk here, which means you can now grease those bearings in the front wheel of this machine. Another thing I wanted to point out about the machine is you've got adjustment on these levers. So if you wanted them for a more comfortable ride for you to be further out, you can just loosen this knob. Set this like this, and then you could do the same thing on this side. Then your neutral position is right here. Pulling back comes to here, pushing forward goes to here. So the nice thing about this adjustable position for the joysticks is that you can put them wherever is comfortable for you. If you want to be driving with your arms completely straight, this might be the setting you want to use. Or if you have trouble pulling back into your stomach or your chest, maybe you want them further out like this. If you are a smaller person, maybe you want them a little bit further back here. For me, I think we're going to start out right about here. Now, one of the videos we made early on was a video called 5 Quick Tips Learning to Start and Operate a Zero-Turn Mower. If you're new to running a zero-turn mower, I think that's a helpful video to start out with. I'll put a link to that up above and below in the description. If you're looking at this zero-turn mower, hopefully this video gave you some information to help you make a decision whether or not this is the right one for you. Now, I can see there's a storm moving in. Hopefully this isn't too windy on the video, but I'm gonna get some mowing done before it starts raining. It's starting to get dark, which lets me know the rain is coming, or maybe I've been working so long today, it's just that time of day. Either way, Toro Time Cutter will make quick work of this yard. I'm gonna get on it, get mowing. Leave those comments down below if you've got this exact model or another model, tips and tricks for other new users or people considering this machine for residential or light commercial use. So we'll have lots more videos about this Toro Time Cutter, but I can just tell you my first impressions, very impressed with the smooth ride on that MyRide suspension. And it actually seems like a little bit quieter engine than the previous engine on our other Toro Time Cutter. But like I said, I'll do a video in the future kind of comparing both machines, the differences. I've already noticed a few differences. Some of them I really like, some of them I'm not quite sure yet. But as far as the ride goes, super smooth ride with that MyRide suspension. Hopefully you found this video informative and entertaining. If so, please give us that big thumbs up down below. Leave those comments, and hopefully we'll see you again the next time. One other operational tip that I just figured out, it was in the manual, I kind of forgot about it. To slide the seat forward or back, there's a little lever right here under the seat. This is different than the other Toro Time Cutter we have as far as how to slide the seat. So I wanted to add that into the video here. Seat adjustment right underneath the seat.